backbone of optimization. If you are very good in convexity of set, then you can define a convex function over a convex set. Or once you are having knowledge of both convexity and of set and convexity of function, then you can look for optimization. And it is a very systematic way to solve optimization problem. It is not the only way, but it is a very systematic approach to solve a optimization problem. And other problems which are not in this category, we can also bring back into this category using some other technique like duality and relaxation, other kind of thing. So I'm coming to outline of my today's lecture. So outlines are the following. First, I would like to discuss about convexity of set and some geometrical example. It is all about pure geometry. So I will discuss about convex set, convex hull, conic hull, and convex cone kind of things. After that, I will take you a specific example from convex set and the problem optimizer problem define over those specific convex set, like linear programming problem. Linear, or simply we will call it linear problem or linear program. It is defined over very linear kind of convex set. That means linear kind of convex set. That means a convex set which is having linear boundary. For example, polyhedral, and corresponding semi-definite optimization and semi-definite program, other kind of things will come. So those naming of those problems are coming with respect to convex set and objective function, nature of objective function. Then I will talk about a few more examples, and okay, mostly I will discuss these two things. It will take time to cover this. Now I'm coming to convexity of set. So what is the motivation to study convexity of set? Because convexity, it is playing a very important role in the optimization process. The concept of convexity, it is a great importance in the study of optimization problems. For example, their convex set, polyhedral set, and separation of disjoint convex set, these are frequently important component of any mathematical optimization or mathematical programming problems. So here both things are same. Mathematical optimization problem and mathematical programming problem, both are same. Just programming is coming with respect to programming term or to make it algorithm look more algorithmic. So from that perspective, we are calling it programming problems. So with respect to, so here most of the problem you will see that you have to always either deal with separation of convex set or supporting hyperplane or polyhedral kind of things. These things will come there. Then characterization of these optimal solutions, what in optimization problem we will get, it is actually in the development of computational procedures. We will see following things that those are the here. We will see convex hull, like KK tip condition. It is having a convex hull, a conic hull kind of pattern or polarity pattern. You will observe that. If you take a linear program, then always the feasible set happens to be a polyhedral set of linear program. Or simply even if you go for quadratic program, then feasible set happens to be a polyhedral set, and polyhedral set is always a convex set. Then very important concept from the generalization perspective of optimization is coming separation of any two convex set, because if you take a non-convex set, then it is very difficult to separate those by using a hyperplane. But if it happens to be a convex set, then easily we can separate it out. Also supporting hyperplane is very much related with optimality condition of optimizer problem. So those things we will discuss here. For example, here I am taking, so easily we can observe that here we are having two different class of set. So I had already mentioned in last class that what you do, how can you separate these two class? So just make a convex hull of to each class. And once convex hull means take all possible linear convex combination and make shade it out completely. So you will get one convex hull. Similarly, you can get another convex hull and shade it out completely. So you are getting two convex shades. So I mentioned that if you are having two convex shades, then there exists a hyperplane which will separate these two. So there are many, infinitely many hyperplanes. So among these infinitely many, just you have to find an optimal hyperplane, optimal separating hyperplane. So here criteria of separating plane is coming. If you want to see the support of a convex set, so you can look at here. I have plotted the regularized regression graph. Here, what you observe? This one is your feasible set. So this diamond shape feasible set, and this one is disc type feasible set, and this one is the contour of objective function. So what we observe here, we just try to find a here supporting hyperplane, which is which we call it optimality condition, that just support the feasible state. So here supporting hyperplane is coming. Also, you will see that here the contour is supporting the feasible state at this point. So you know that supporting is just similar to tangent plane kind of thing. So here we know that what is meaning of being a tangent. So supporting hyperplane behaving like a tangent plane. Supporting hyperplane, it is mostly coming in during optimality condition, and you can give another name. It is tangent plane. There are many criteria, first order and second order and other kind of things. Tangent plane. In between, if you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, in the comment box, you can put your question. Or I used to share fresh slide and annotated slide both in the classroom, Google Classroom. There also in the comment box, you can put your question or any kind of doubt. What if you have any? Then you can put there. I will answer there. And regarding that, both kind of slide, fresh slide and annotated slide, I used to share in Google Classroom. So always go there and find it out there. Now, after that, we'll come across extreme points and extreme direction. These are related with polyhedral. If you're taking polyhedral, your feasible set happens to be polyhedral kind of things. That means a convex set with linear boundary. Then many criteria or conic combination, conic hull. So shade it out between this region. This one is the polyhedral. This one is the conic hull. So in this case, you are having concept of extremal points and extremal direction. This point is extremal, and this direction are extremal direction. Like that kind of concept we will come across. So all these are optimality conditions. That's why here I am discussing these things. So now coming to definition of convex set, we can simply recall convex set. A set is said to be convex if we take any 2 points from the set and define a line segment joining these 2 points, then it is completely in that set. Then we can say that the given set is a convex set. So these are the example of convex set. So always what you do to take a convex set, take any 2 arbitrary point x1 and x2, then take a very special linear combination of this one. That linear combination we are calling it convex combination, that lambda times x1 plus 1 minus lambda times x2. So this combination. Then if suppose it happens that line segment joining between x1 and x2 is completely inside the set, then we can say that the given set is a convex set. For example, here if you take any point in this set, in this disk, it is a disk. So if you take any point, any 2 point arbitrary, and if you join a line segment between these 2 points, then we can observe that the line segment is completely inside the set. So we can say that this set is a convex set. Similarly, we can say that this one is a convex set. But also you remember that boundary here. Boundary is not a circular boundary. It is different boundary. Here also different kind of boundary is coming. But all about these boundaries are nonlinear boundaries. Once we are coming to polyhedral, this one is the polyhedral. Polyhedral is also a convex set. Take any 2 point here, x1 and x2, and join these 2 points through a line segment. Then we can observe that the line segment is completely inside the polyhedral. So polyhedral is also a convex set, but it is having linear boundary. So very nice pattern it will give during linear program. Now, if you talk about this set, it is not a convex set. Why? Take any point here, suppose x1, and another point we are taking it here, x2. So definitely, if we join a line segment between these 2 points, what happens? This much portion of line segment, it is completely out of the set. So it is not a convex set. Similarly, this set is not a convex set due to this reason that if you take any 2 point here and join the line, this line will come out of the set. So it is also not a convex set, and this zigzag line is also not a convex set. In the similar definition, you can establish that. So these three are non-convex set, and these three are convex set. These are the convex set. So you can easily understand and visualize the criteria of being a convex set. Now we will talk about if a given set is not a convex set, then how can we get a convex set from the given set? So that thing we can get it from convex combination of all the possible points from the set. So what you do from the given set, take all possible combination, then the resultant structure, it would be a convex set, and that resultant structure we are calling it a convex hull of the corresponding set. So what does it say? Say that you take any k number of points, and we are doing a linear, very specific linear combination under the condition that all the coefficients are greater than or equal to 0, and if you sum these coefficients, sum would be 1. So such combination, such kind of linear combination we are calling a convex combination. And the convex hull of a set, we are, what is this? It is the set of all possible convex combination of points in C. Whatever, how many points in this given set C would be, take convex combination of all those points, then the resultant set would be a convex hull. So one example you can see here. So this set C, it is not a convex set. Then also I would like to talk about L0 minimization problem. So when you are doing L0 minimization or L0 regularization, then this L0 is not a convex norm. So with respect to that, we are getting a non-convex function, the non-convex optimization problem. So what you have to do, you have to find a convex hull of L0, and convex hull of L0 is what? L1 norm. So you will see that when I will discuss in detail. So L1, now the problem with respect to L1 norm, it is always a convex optimization problem. So with respect to convex hull, you are converting a non-convex structure into convex through convex hull, convex combination. So same criteria I am saying it here. This set, given set C, it is not a convex set. So what you do? So join these two supporting. So there is a very good interesting idea of finding a convex hull. What you do? So find a supporting hyperplane in the non-convex region. So this would be supporting hyperplane, and set it out completely. Only non-convex region you are having this kind of a structure. So once you find a supporting hyperplane, then set the region completely. It is giving this kind of a structure. It is a convex structure. So convex hull of any kind of set happens to be a convex set. Similarly, if you take 3 points, x1, x2, and x3, and find the convex combination of all these points, all possible convex combination. Simplest convex combination will give triangle, and then take all convex combination. So it will completely shade it out the region between these 3 points, this triangle. So what kind of convex hull is this one? So it is convex hull of 3 points. So this convex hull, it is very specific. We are calling it polytope. Now, similarly, we would like to define affine set. You might have already studied linear algebra, solving system of linear equation. When you are solving a system of linear equation, then what you observe? You are observing 3 different kind of criteria. Solution happens to be 3 different types. Either one solution, that means unique solution, or infinitely many solutions. So the infinitely many solution or solution set generally always happens to be an affine set. That means what is meaning of affine set? It is a actually linear subspace, or you can call it into, if you are in 2D, infinite solution. That means solution of space, you can call it. And third condition is no solution. That means empty. Empty, no solution. So I'm talking about second category. Other 2 are just non-relevant here. So if you take in R2, what is the linear subspace? A line passing through origin, we always call it, it is a 2D, 1D linear subspace in R2. So you can give name of this one as y equal to mx, because it is passing through origin, or you can give another structure that x comma y, such that it is set theoretic notation, such that y equal to mx, whatever. First one was the function definition, second one was the theoretic definition. Okay, so it is a line or a linear subspace, LSS I'm calling it. Now, what is the affine set? Displace this linear subspace by a fixed distance, then you are getting this one. So what is the name of this one? It is y plus mx. So this notation is just equation notation, which if you go for higher dimension, things will be complicated. So we will go for better vector notation. In next example, I will explain vector notation. Better, a line in 2D always denoted by like this way. A line is always characterized by some kind of normal, a special normal, such that, so equation of that line, it becomes A transpose x equal to B. So this notation we are calling it vector notation, and this notation we are calling it row picture or linear equation notation. Equation, this one is the equation notation and this one is the vector notation. Here you can observe that everything is vector here. A is a vector, normal vector, x is a non-vector, and B is your given vector. So all this notation we call it vector notation. So throughout in this course we will go for this vector notation. It would look easy to deal with and give a compact representation. So that's why vector notation looks fine. And further, if you will see things in deep learning, what is happening there. Many complicated network is coming. If you are having many complicated network, then how can you represent that? You need matrices, a very big size of matrices. So always compact representation is the best approach to deal with any optimization problem, any larger scale problems. So that's where I will focus on this one. And just for visualization purpose, you can look into this representation. There is no issue. It is just equation system of equation representation. In 2D and 3D, it is always possible to represent equations in a very simple way, but in higher dimension, things are very complicated. So here I am coming to affine set. So I mentioned that what is the affine set? So take any 2 points from the set and define a affine combination. So or it is a specific linear combination where it is a linear combination. Simply affine such that lambda is coming from R. So take any 2 points from set C and make a linear combination. If it is again in that set, then this set we are calling it a affine set. Like if you take a line, this one is a line. Take any 2 points. So once we are saying it is a line, so both sides it is endless. It moving up, both sides endless. So what if you take any 2 points, x1, x2 from this line, then it would be again in the same line. If you take any linear combination of these two, both are in the same. So if you take a linear combination of these two, again it would be in the same line. Like one structure I had already taken. Let me give one picture here. Okay, we are coming to see here. This one is it is a line passing through origin. So you can call it is a linear subspace. M is a linear subspace. What you do, displace M by a vector P. It is a fixed vector. Then you are getting a affine kind of a space. So this one is the linear subspace. This one is affine subspace. You can call it affine subspaces. Subspace, it is not good to call subspaces. So call just affine subset, affine set. So this one is the affine set, and line is always happens to be a affine set, whether it is a linear subspace or whether it is a affine set. It is always a line is always affine set. So affine set, you can say that it happens to be subspace plus an offset. This offset P. So if C is a affine set, you can always write L plus X naught. X naught is coming from C, not from L. X naught is not in L. It is not X naught. It is not in L. It is in C. It is not in L. For general perspective. So this is the criteria of being affine set. Now we are coming to define cone and conic hull. So what is cone? So cone is one ray kind of thing. It is generalization of ray. So what do you do? Take a line, and in affine case, we had already seen that there is no end. Neither there is a terminal point nor a starting point. But when we are coming to cone, so always there would be a starting point, but there would be no terminal point. So this kind of a structure, this ray is a cone. It says that for any point from C, if we take a non-negative linear, a scalar multiple of that point, then that a scalar multiple, non-negative scalar multiple, it is again in C. So that means you take any vector, suppose this one, the X vector. So here up to this, it is X, and take any scalar multiple of this one in such a way positive, non-negative scalar multiple. That means it will just give a ray. So this ray happens to be a cone. Now take another example like this way. So this kind of state. So what we observe, if we take, so this one is one more example of a cone. It is generated by two vector. You can call it, this vector is x1, this vector is x2. And here many things are coming. In KKT, generally you will observe this kind of convex cone. This one is a convex cone. So a cone is convex if every for every or any point x1, x2 from C, the corresponding convex combination of points is again in the set. And the collection of, so we can similarly define conic combination, likewise convex combination. So conic combination, you can call it non-negative combination. Non-negative combination of any point from the given set. And the collection of all those conic combination, we are calling it a convex set. So we are calling it conic hull. Sorry. Collection of all conic combination, we are calling it conic hull. Conic hull. So conic and the corresponding set we will write. So it is representation of conic hull. So conic hull, it is talking about conic combination. You can call it conic combination in such a way, xi are points from C and all scalar coefficient theta is are greater than or equal to 0. So this is the representation of conic hull. So example is coming here. If so these are the finite number of points. So what you do, take all possible conic combination of these points. So these are the dark points, these are the given point. So how can you do make a conic combination? So simplest one is find the extreme points. So this is one extreme point, and so in the, it is 2D vector, you can represent it by arrow like this way. Now after that you take a conic combination, that means a non-negative combination. So non-negative combination, it will keep increasing in that direction by taking a positive lambda value. So here suppose we call this one is x1. So this ray, corresponding ray, it would be lambda time x1, and lambda is greater than or equal to 0 to make it conic structure. So that's why we are putting this condition. Similarly, this point, suppose this point we are calling it x2. This vector we are calling it x2. So I think you all might be aware of position vector of a given point. So this is the position vector of x2. Now take a conic combination of x2. So what would be? It would be just a non-negative scalar multiple of x2. Here lambda is again greater than or equal to 0. If I ask to find a conic combination between these 2 points, so what kind of combination it would be? So this point, it would be lambda 1 time x1 plus some component is some part of component is coming from lambda x1 and another component is coming from x2. And also you remember that here lambda 1 and lambda 2 both are greater than or equal to 0. Both scalar are greater than or equal to 0. So this is the conic combination. So any point between, so this is extreme direction, you can call it, this one is the another extreme direction. If you are having a cone structure, always you will get a extreme direction kind of thing. At least one extreme direction you will get. So these are the extreme direction, and if you want to represent any point in this cone, then that point you can write as a convex combination, conic combination of the extreme direction. Conic combination of the extreme direction x1 and x2. So in that pattern you are getting a convex conic hull of a given set. Similarly, so this is your given set. How can you find a conic combination of this one? The best way is to find that first find two extreme direction. Remember that there is a difference between direction or a general vector. Direction is always having one direction, because if we are having a vector, D, then we will take direction is like this way. And if you take a minus D, it will have another direction. Direction of minus D is different. That one is just 180-degree opposite of D. So remember that direction happens to be ray kind of vector. Direction is always a ray vector. So direction you can call a cone. Direction, once I mentioned that direction, always assume that direction is a ray or direction is a cone. So that kind of a structure. So what you do, you just find a ray, supporting ray. So we got a supporting ray, this one. Similarly, you try to find one more supporting ray, and both intersect. Both supporting ray must pass through origin. So these are giving extreme direction. Once you are getting extreme direction, find out all possible convex combination of those extreme direction. In that process, you will get conic hull of the given set, this non-convex set. Conic hull of this non-convex set. So all these are idea how to find conic hull of any given convex or non-convex set. So conic hull always it would be cone shape. There would be cone shape and it would be infinite shape. Similarly, affine set is also happens to be in infinite set, but convex set may be finite set or may be infinite set. Some specific example I will discuss here from convex set. First one is polyhedral. It is very interesting kind of example. Before going to discuss about polyhedral, I would like to discuss about hyperplane. What is the hyperplane? So hyperplane, if you go algebraic definition, it is talking about it is a set containing a single equality equation. It is a solution, or simply you can call it, it is a solution of space of a single equality equation. If you are in R2, then you can observe that a single equation, what does it represent in R2? This single linear equation, what does it represent? It represents a line. It is representing a line A transpose X equal to B. I had already mentioned that I will go hyperplane representation or line representation in term of vector only, and this is the normal direction. Okay, so this one is the hyperplane. It is a solution of space of a single equality equation or linear equation. Now there is one more term, half space. So what is half space? After that I will go to polyhedral. Half space, what does it talk about? So again, half space, it is solution of space of a single inequality, linear inequality. So algebraically we can denote it like this way: X such that all these are example of convex set. A transpose X is less than equal to B. Okay, so how can we denote this one, this half space? It is half space. So first we need to write corresponding line. So equation of line is this one. Geometry of line is this one. Plot. We are plotting line. Name of this line is A transpose X equal to B, and this is the normal. Okay. So which section does it represent hyperspace? It is talking about A transpose X is less than B. That means the region which is away from normal. So this is the region. This is the region which is away from normal. So this region here we are calling it A transpose X is less than equal to B, and the region along the normal we are calling it A transpose X is greater than equal to B. So this one is we are calling it less than equal to, it is one half space. This one is another half space. It is low. You can call it. It is the lower half space, and this one is upper half space. And if you ask what does B play here, what kind of role B is play? B is playing a control kind of thing which allowed to move upward or direct or downward in the direction of A. So B is totally. It is not changing line completely, but it is just allowing to shift line along the direction of normal. So that is the role of B. And A is the normal vector, you know that. So now coming to hyperplane, I had already defined. So this is the hyperplane. This is the equation of hyperplane, geometric representation of hyperplane. Similarly, geometric representation of half plane or half space is like this way. So remember that hyperplane is dealing with a single equality linear equation, and half plane it is dealing with a single inequality linear inequality. Simply call it linear. Everything is linear here right now. So this is the half space. One half space, another half space you can observe here. Now, if you are coming to polyhedral, so polyhedral it is a solution set of finite number of hyperplanes. That means we are talking about solution set when we are having few linear equalities and few linear inequalities. So linear equalities, we had already seen that it is dealing with hyperplanes, and linear inequality is dealing with half plane or half space. So geometrically, so linear inequality, these are geometric term, and half a space or half plane. This one is linear inequality. It is an algebraic term, and half a space or half plane. It is a geometric term. Similarly, linear equality. It is an algebraic term, and half hyperplane. It is a geometric term. So that perspective we are taking. So if you take finite number of linear equalities, that means finite number of hyperplane, and finite number of inequalities, that means k number of finite number of inequalities, and if you find a solution of space, then always you will get this kind of a structure, a finite structure. Finiteness is coming. Remember that in last case, a single line it is always giving infinite kind of a structure. That one is affine shape. This one is also giving a infinite convex subset. Okay, but if we come intersection of these things, so we are getting a polyhedral. So polyhedral happens to be finite in nature, and you can see the direction of all these. So in that perspective, we are getting a polyhedral, and polyhedral is very nice convex structure. So bounded if a polyhedral happens to be bounded, then we are calling that polyhedral as a polytope. Why? Because simply what you do, you are having a system of linear equations you solve, and definitely you will get few extreme point called, these are the extreme point. These are the extreme point, and make a convex combination for all these points. In that a structure, what you will get a convex hull of finite number, these 5 points, convex hull. So that's way, if there is a bounded polyhedral, then that polyhedral in a different way, another way you can call it, it is a convex hull of 5 points. So name this point. Suppose this point, this extreme point is x1, this extreme point is x2. I will explain extreme meaning of extreme point later, but here from the picture it is already clear that what is meaning of extreme point. How can you observe that? So there is a very important meaning of extreme point. So what do you? So here you observe 5 extreme point. So what happens if polyhedral happens to be convex hull of finite number of points? Then definitely what we call that convex hull, we are calling it polytope. So it is convex hull of x1, x2, and likewise up to the 5 points are there, x5. So you are getting a finite structure, and this is a fundamental result. Every polytope, it happens to be a convex hull of finite number of points. So that I had already mentioned. Now, once we are having a polyhedral, then what kind of optimization problem we can define over a polyhedral? By considering polyhedral as a feasible set. So two kind of optimization problem we can define. One is very simple, one is linear program. Two kind of convex optimization problem. I am talking about optimization, that means convex optimization problem. One is linear program, another one would be quadratic program, QP. This one is LP. So two important kind of optimization problem we can define our polyhedral, and the solution will exist at one of the extreme point. So a linear programming or linear program is to optimize a linear function over a polyhedral. One example you can observe that. So you are having your object. This is the objective function x1 minus 3 times x2, and we are putting constant. These are the constants. The constants. What kind of things you observe after seeing the constant? So constants contains either linear equations. This first and second, both are linear equation. The last one are inequality. So constant happens to be linear equations and linear inequality. That means happens to be hyperplane and half subspaces. So definitely this structure will give a polyhedral. So by just seeing the given example from there, you can say that it will give a polyhedral. Your feasible set is a polyhedral because it contains linear inequalities and linear equality. So it is a polyhedral. And what about your objective function? It is a linear function. You can write this function as objective function C transpose X. It is a linear function. So you are optimizing a linear function over a polyhedral. That's why this program is a linear program. And if you want to see the plot of this problem, so this is the feasible region. And where is the solution? So these are the extreme point. You got the extreme point. It is always important to get extreme point in case of polyhedral, finite polyhedral or bounded polyhedral. So once you are having, so what is your solution? In order to get solution, what is your intention? First, plot this one, this linear function passing through origin. Then see the direction of this linear function. What is your intention? Your intention is you have to minimize this one. So move in decreasing direction of C1. That means move in negative C directions. What is C? C is here. What is the C vector? The direction of objective function. Gradient of another way, gradient of objective function. It is linear. Easily you can get gradient. Gradient that differentiate with respect to x. Then the first component would be 2 and second coordinate would be minus 2. Where does it exist? It is here. X coordinate is positive and y coordinate is negative. Definitely it would be in fourth quadrant. So here this one is C, and what is minus C? So that's why you want to decrease the function. You have to move in the negative direction of C. So this is the negative direction. So if you keep on moving, and it will touch the one of the linear constant or infinity constant, you will get solution. This is the solution. So for this problem, there are infinitely many solutions. I will talk about why such thing is happening. There are reasons. So you got the solution. This is the solution. Okay, it is already 10:45. 11:45, 1:45. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, I will wind today's class. Other things we will cover in next class. Any question? And regarding attendance, I have already created one link for attendance there in Google Classroom. You go and mark your attendance there. And I'd mentioned that if you have any doubt, any question, keep on asking in comment box there in the Google Classroom. Because while having live interaction, what I will do that I can just discuss about what content there in presentation.